You probably think you are in complete control of your decisions and thoughts, but what if I told you that your mind harbors invisible forces, guiding you like a puppet master? Imagine a grand illusion where your choices, your beliefs, and your actions are subtly shaped by unseen hands. Welcome to the enigmatic realm of cognitive biases and mind traps, strange phenomena hardwired into our brains, influencing our lives in ways we seldom realize. 1. Cognitive dissonance, the fox and the grapes. A fox sneaked up to a vine. He stared intently at the juicy, purple, overripe grapes. He tried to get at the grapes, but they were too high. Frustrated, he tried again. He launched himself upward, but came no closer to the fruit. He leapt for a third time, this time landing hard with a thud. Still no grapes. The fox turned up his nose. I don't really care. Only grapes that aren't even ripe. Why would I want sour grapes? He walked back into the forest. This fable from Aesop introduces cognitive dissonance, where we hold conflicting beliefs or when our actions contradict our beliefs. Like the fox, when faced with unattainable goals, we often convince ourselves they were undesirable anyway. This mental gymnastics can lead to stress, anxiety, and even depression, but recognizing this dissonance can be the first step in aligning our beliefs with reality, reducing mental strain. 2. The spotlight effect, the illusion of scrutiny. Imagine walking into a crowded room 5 minutes late. You feel every eye on you, judging you. Or spilling a drink at a party, convinced everyone noticed and cares. This is the spotlight effect, our belief that others are paying more attention to us than they actually are. The truth: most people are too absorbed in their own lives to scrutinize yours. Understanding this can lift a tremendous weight of unnecessary social anxiety off your shoulders. 3. The anchoring effect, the invisible chains. Whenever we guess something, say the population of Russia, we use anchors. These are initial pieces of information that frame our thinking. For instance, if you start with a known fact that Russia's population is less than China's, but more than 1 million, these anchors shape your estimate. This effect can be manipulated, especially in sales. A high initial price sets an anchor, making a lower price seem like a bargain. Awareness of anchoring can help you set your own anchors and avoid being manipulated. 4. The halo effect. First impressions cast long shadows. What do you think about Alan and Ben? Alan is intelligent, industrious, impulsive, critical, stubborn, envious. Ben is envious, stubborn, critical, impulsive, industrious, intelligent. If you are like most people, you see Alan in a better light than Ben, even though their traits are identical. This is the halo effect, where initial impressions, often the first piece of information we receive, overshadow subsequent information. In relationships, hiring decisions, and even in evaluating investments, this effect can distort our judgments. Strive to gather comprehensive information before forming opinions to avoid this bias. 5. Gambler's fallacy, the myth of the balancing universe. 3 times a coin is flipped and lands on heads each time. If someone forces you to wager thousands of dollars on the next toss, would you bet on heads or tails? Most would choose tails, believing a balance must be restored. This is the gambler's fallacy, the erroneous belief that past random events influence future ones. In reality, each flip is independent. This fallacy can lead to poor decisions in gambling, finance, and beyond. Recognizing the independence of events helps you make better choices. 6. The contrast effect, the relativity of perception. If you see leather seats for $3,000, they may seem expensive. But if you're buying an $80,000 car, the $3,000 upgrade seems minor. This is the contrast effect, our tendency to judge something relative to other recent examples. It influences how we perceive value and quality. Next time you shop, try to evaluate each option on its own merits rather than relative comparisons. 7. Confirmation bias, the echo chamber. Imagine you have a belief about something. You go in search of evidence that supports that belief, reinforcing it further. You ignore or forget evidence that contradicts it. This is confirmation bias. Our brains are wired to maintain existing beliefs rather than accept new ones, which is mentally taxing. In an era where platforms tailor content to our interests, this bias is supercharged, creating echo chambers. To combat it, seek diverse perspectives and critically evaluate all evidence, not just what supports your beliefs. 8. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, the frequency illusion. You buy a new car and suddenly you see that model everywhere. Or you learn a new word and start hearing it frequently. This is the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, our tendency to notice something more often after encountering it for the first time. It's augmented by the recency effect and confirmation bias. Our brains, masters of pattern recognition, create an illusion of frequency. Realize that you've likely always been exposed to these things. You're just noticing them more now. 9. Zygonic effect, the haunting of incomplete tasks. Ever notice how unfinished tasks nag at your mind? This is the zygonic effect, where incomplete tasks linger in our memory longer than completed ones. This can cause stress and sleepless nights. Writing down a plan to complete these tasks can alleviate this effect, providing peace of mind and focus. 10. The paradox of choice, freedom or paralysis. At a supermarket, 2 experiments were conducted. In the first, 24 types of jam were available to taste and buy. In the second, only 6 types. While more people were initially attracted to the larger selection, fewer made a purchase compared to the smaller selection. This is the paradox of choice. While more options seem better, they often lead to decision paralysis and dissatisfaction. Simplifying choices can lead to better decision-making and greater satisfaction. 11. Availability heuristic, the mirage of memory. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut where we judge the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind. Hearing frequent news reports about airplane crashes, you might overestimate their frequency. This can skew perceptions of risk. Relying on comprehensive data rather than memorable anecdotes can lead to more accurate judgments. 12. Sunk cost fallacy, the trap of past investments. The sunk cost fallacy is the tendency to continue an endeavor once an investment in money, effort, or time has been made, even if it's no longer the best option. Staying in a bad movie just because you bought the ticket is a common example. Recognizing when to cut your losses and make decisions based on future benefits can prevent wasteful persistence. 13. Hindsight bias, the illusion of predictability. Hindsight bias is the inclination to see events as having been predictable after they have occurred. This can lead to overconfidence in your predictive abilities. Reminding yourself of the unpredictability of the future can help maintain a realistic perspective and avoid the pitfalls of hindsight bias. 14. Self-serving bias, the ego's shield. Self-serving bias is the tendency to attribute positive outcomes to your actions and negative outcomes to external factors. This can skew your self-perception and hinder personal growth. Balancing the recognition of your role in successes and failures fosters a more accurate self-view and encourages improvement. 15. Fundamental attribution error, the judgment trap. Fundamental attribution error is the tendency to overemphasize personal characteristics and ignore situational factors when judging others' behavior. If someone is late, you might think they are irresponsible, overlooking possible external reasons. Considering context can lead to fairer assessments and better interpersonal understanding. Conclusion. Understanding these cognitive biases and mind traps is crucial for becoming a more thoughtful and rational thinker. While you cannot eliminate them entirely, being aware of their existence and recognizing when they influence your thoughts can help you make better decisions. Remember that your brain often takes mental shortcuts to simplify complex information, but these shortcuts can lead to errors in judgment. By questioning your assumptions, seeking diverse perspectives, and relying on evidence, you can reduce the impact of these biases and improve your decision-making processes. In the words of Daniel Kahneman, we can be blind to the obvious, and we are also blind to our blindness. Embrace this awareness and take the first step toward clearer, more rational thinking. The journey to understanding your mind is a path to becoming not just a better decision-maker, but a more enlightened human being. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. For more videos like this every week, hit the subscribe button and make sure to turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.